Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to Srila Prabhupada Book Reading Club. Currently we are reading the Nectar of Instruction and we are at the shloka number 8. So let's start our session by offering the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kada Mayam Dadatin Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakamalaam Sri Gurun Vaishnavaancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणी मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगु लंगायते गिरि यत्कृपातहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So anyone can collect what we have learned yesterday in first paragraph. Like we can see now how beautiful Prabhupada has written. Even like if you follow the one paragraph like entire life, you can go back to the Godhead. Prabhupada sees our sincerity, and like when we become sincere, then Prabhupada take charge of us. Okay, Prabhupada yesterday's class, Mataji was saying na like how Prabhupada I think Sudama Prabhuji said yes, like he want to go to the Japan because that time it is communist and like no one wants to go there. But like he enthusiastically say, Prabhupada, I will go. And for that answer only, Prabhupada said, like I will personally come to take you go back to the Godhead. And like like he go in Japan, he start preaching. Then he there is a fall down and like he completely give up the ISKCON and but we can see the Krishna's arrangement at the end of his life when he was going to die or in old age like he get the association of a devotees and then on the on his last day devotees are surrounded by him and devotees are doing the kirtan and suddenly he he speak in this way from the deathbed that oh Prabhupada you come and then he suddenly he left his body so but why Prabhupada come here to take him because he was a little sincere at least he showed the enthusiasm to serve Prabhupada. So we need to be a very sincere. Then these devotees can help us. We also seen that that parrot and sorry that sparrow analogy that a sparrow was trying to dry the ocean and by seeing her endeavors then Garuda come and order the ocean to give her eggs back because she was putting effort, she was endeavoring. Okay, so in this way we have to endeavor in our sadhana, and when our sadhana becomes stronger then Prabhupada and all these acharyas get the please and they help us. Okay, by we don't have the capacity but by mercy of a gurus we can go back to the Godhead. Okay, so Hare Krishna, who want to read? So in last, okay, last
Thank you
we
so much.
learned that we have to yes, Prabhu, just give me 1 minute. So in last paragraph, we have seen yes, mind is like an elephant, but good part is yes, it is strong, but we can train our mind. And this is ISKCON or Krishna conscious movement is made for training our mind to be always engaged in Krishna consciousness. Okay, and we also see that when we are chanting or trying to concentrate, the past things like a lot of desires comes in our mind because mind has captured that desire in a crores of our life. Okay, thousands of our past lives, so they are coming. But we have the glass like a very dirty water in a glass, and like when you keep that glass under the like water tap, then like in starting there will be dirt, but with the time that dirty water is get replaced with the good pure water. So similarly, like when we keep chanting this, our material desires will change into the get transferred, or get changed into the spiritual desires. Okay. So Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Prabhu, you can
Hare
read.
Krishna
At the
Mataji.
time of death. Yes, Praveen Prabhu. Vinod Prabhu, let's give chance to the Praveen Prabhu today.
Sorry,
Yes,
sorry,
Mataji,
Prabhu,
sure,
Vinod
sure.
Prabhu, please carry on, Prabhu. No issues, Mataji.
Yes, Praveen Prabhu, you can start reading.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At the time of death, the mind and intelligence of a living entity create the subtle form of a certain type of body for the next life. If the mind suddenly thinks of something not very congenial, one has to take a corresponding birth in the next life. On the other hand, if one can think of Krishna at the time of death, he can be transferred to the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavana. This process of transmigration is very subtle. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami advises devotees to train their minds in order that they will be unable to remember anything other than Krishna. Similarly, the tongue should be trained to speak only of Krishna and to taste only Krishna Prasada. Srila Rupa Goswami further advises Tistan Braje. One should live in Vrindavana or any part of Rajabhumi. Rajabhumi or the land of Vrindavana is supposed to be 84 krosas in area. One krosa equals 2 square miles. When one makes Vrindavana his residence, he should take shelter of an advanced devotee there. In this way, one should always think of Krishna and his pastimes. This is further elucidated by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.294. कृष्णं स्मरणं जनं च स्यात् प्रेष्ठां निज संहितं तत्तत् कथा कथा चासौ कुर्याद्वासं प्रजे सदा. A devotee should always reside in the transcendental realm of Raja and always engage in Krishnam Smaranam Janam Chasya Preshtam, the remembrance of Sri Krishna and his beloved associates. By following in the footsteps of such associates and by entering under their eternal guidance, one can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Very well, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
So
Mataji, thanks
yes,
for the opportunity.
yeah. So in we also yesterday we also see the Bhagavad Gita shloka 8.6. It states that whatever we remember at a time of a death, like we will get that body. Okay. So when we have seen now, like this body is like a car, or like these bodies are like a cloth, and when it is get destroyed, or it is not usable, then like we will get the next body to fulfill our desires. And when our soul transfer, our intelligence and mind also get transferred. Okay, this subtle this in a subtle form. Okay, they also get. So even in this life we don't go back to the Godhead, and again due to our nonsense, because like Krishna has provided everything, but like we are not taking it, we are not utilizing it properly. So from our if in this life, if we are not going back to the Godhead, it's our mistake, because like Krishna has sent the Prabhupada. Krishna and the Prabhupada has given you the give the 16 rounds for regulative principle, and he's personally saying if you chant the 16 rounds minimum, and if you follow the four regulative principle, he will personally come to take you. He will take your charge. And like Prabhupada also given his given books, like he has sacrificed his night sleep, and he sacrificed all of his comfort just for providing the things and facilities for us. Like so everything like a Prabhupada has given, like a founder is gone, so that we can get the association of a devotees. Prabhupada formed the BBT so that we can get the Srila Prabhupada books, and like by reading these books, like we can advance in a spiritual life. But we are not reading, we are not following the principles. So like in case if we are not going back to the Godhead within this life, then it's our fault. Okay, so and even our due to our things, like we are not going, but like at least we have to train our mind, inside our mind there should be a Bhagavad Gita shlokas, lectures we hear about, like a Hari Katha, and Krishna's beautiful darshan. This all should be like this impression should be make in like we should like make the impression in this in our intelligence and mind. Okay, so like even like if we take the birth, maybe so like we will have that in like impressions, and like we will have some spiritual desires to serve Krishna. So maybe from the childhood we can get the Krishna consciousness, or we can born in a Krishna's family. So at least we have to try. It doesn't matter you have started at a 5 years old, like a 5 year or 15 years or 16 year, or like a 20, 30, 50, 60, even the 70. What matter is like when you are coming in association, like you have taking the benefit of association or not, or like you are becoming serious or not, that matters. Okay, so like if you have the material desires, okay, I want a big car, I want a big bungalow, and I want this and that, then like this desires like stay inside your mind. Like Krishna has created this mind, so that like whatever desires you have, you can store in that mind. It's like what we call memory card. It will record every desire of you, and like when the situation is favorable, Krishna also remind you, okay, you have to fulfill this desire, you have to eat this fruit, or you have to eat this gulab jamun, etc. So like when you have this kind of material desires, even if you have at a time of death, if you have the desires to eat one gulab jamun, then like you are not going back to the godhead, or like you have to take the birth again to simply eat the one gulab jamun. So like yes, like if we have the material desires, then we have to again take the birth, and like again we have to fall in this cycle of a birth and death, and we will suffer. Okay, but like at the time of death, when we remember Krishna, then like we can transfer to the Golok Vrindavana. And and it's not like that at the end of time, like and the end of life, like you are going to remember Krishna. At the end of life, you are going to remember that things only that you have like uh, like that things you have practiced your entire life. So like if you are too much engaged, like a 20 or like even the 20 or 24 hours you are giving for the material life, and you don't have the time for this like a 3 4 hours, then like at the time of death you are not going to have those Krishna conscious thoughts. Like you will have the material things, like you will have the flash of this material desires and things. Okay, so like like how nice it is, like if you simply give the 4 to 5 hours to the Krishna, this 4 5 hours like will make ensure that like at the end of life you are going back to the godhead. So like this, like you like daily you have to do your sadhana, and like you don't have to neglect or like take it casually this 3 4 hours. Like because of this, like intensely you are practicing like your sadhana. Because of this sadhana only, your heart will get purified, and you can go back to the like Goloka, where Radharani is waiting for you by having the book, like by having the bouquet in his hand for you. And like in the Maya, like in this material world, Maya Devi is with the Trishul. He was telling us, he was torturing us. Please get out of this world. This is not place for like a living. Okay, but still, oh Mata, oh Durga Mata, you can like give me more and more miseries, but I want to stay here only. I'm feeling happy. This is the ignorance, na. So yes, like Prabhupada is, and sorry, Prabhupada also saying, and Rupa Goswami also saying that like devotees have to train their mind in order that they were unable to remember anything other than Krishna. So like we have to make the Krishna center, and every activity should be revolve around the Krishna. Like it's not like that. Okay, I have my work, so like I will do my 16 rounds later, or like I will do my 16 rounds tomorrow. No, like you have to do like all the sadhana you have to do on the time. Okay, and for the doing sadhana, morning is the best time. Before 8 before 8 9 or 10 a.m., like you have to finish your sadhana. And the best thing is that if you wake up early, if you sleep early, then you are going to wake up early. If you wake up early, then before sunrise your sadhana will be finished, your mangal arati is done. And even if you don't have the 50-minute time for the mangal arati, you can do it on your own. Like it will simply take the 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, then like you can that half hour you have saved, that you can use in reading Srila Prabhupada books, or you can use in like a chanting rounds. Okay, so like we have to like keep Krishna consciousness in a center. We have to keep our sadhana in a center, and everything should be like a revolve around this. And like when we do your morning sadhana, then it will protect you from the Maya entire day. Okay, it's like acting like a what we say kavacha. It act like a shield. And like here Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, similarly, tongue should be engaged to speak only the Krishna and the taste only the prasada. Prabhupada use here the only, means like when we are opening our mouth we should like glorify Krishna, and like we have to eat only prasada. Here the word is only, because when you speak material things, Shastra says that like your ayu, your lifespan will be decreased. But when you speak about the Krishna, then you are like, even if you are going closer to the death, but after that you are going to get the Krishna. Okay, and even there is a shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam second canto which states that like one who is not practicing Krishna consciousness, like every rising and setting sun, taking them closer to the death, and but it is not like applicable for the devotees, because with every rising and setting sun, they are going more closer to the Krishna. Okay, they are not again going to take the birth. And here also the Srila Rupa Goswami is saying that Tistan Vraje means one should live in a Vrindavana or any part of a like Vrajabhanu. And here Vrajabhumi, here it is also stated that 84 kosas, like Vrindavan is 84 kosas, or like one kosa means like 2 square miles. So like this means like Prabhupada, like in India we have the Vrindavana, but Prabhupada has given Vrindavana to entire world. Every temple is a Vaikunta, every temple is a Vrindavan. And like it's not that like you have to give up everything and you have to go in a Vrindavana. And like Prabhupada also says this, that you don't have to stay in a Vrindavana more than 3 days, because like then you will start thinking, okay, you are a Vrajavasi, and like you will start offending. And like we don't have to commit the offenses in a dhamma, because like they get multiplied, na? So but like what is a glory of Mayapur, that like you will get the benefit of all your spiritual activities 1000 times, but like you won't whatever offense you are committing, like you won't get the result of that offenses. That is a mercy of a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But like it doesn't mean that like we have to commit the offenses. So like we have to go in a dhammas, but we have to very careful to not to commit any offense. So like until you are mature, you shouldn't go and like stay there whimsically. Okay, so like, and also the like a Vrindavana means like you are in a you are a state of mind that you are in a Vrindavana means like what devotees do in a Vrindavana, they are constantly remembering Krishna, their leelas, and like how Krishna is smiling, how Krishna has killed the Kaliya, and how he's uh, playing in a Govardhan. So they are like gopis are constantly remembering the like Krishna's activities and chanting the Krishna's name. So like when you are doing the same things, okay, like when you are chanting the holy name, when you are hearing the Hari Katha, then like you are in a like you are already in a Vrindavana. So like, and even like some people, they stay in a Vrindavana, but their mind is a full of a material desires. Then actually they are not staying in a Vrindavana, na? Because actually it is a state of mind when you are constantly remembering Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's leelas, Krishna's qualities. Okay, so, and like also we have to stay in a Vrindavana. Also it means like we also have to stay in a state of mind that like constantly remembering Krishna, and like we have to stay under the shelter of an advanced devotee. So we don't have to practice this whimsically. We should take the advices from the seniors. Okay, so like we have to follow the guru's orders, we have to take the shelter. And in a Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami says that like a devotee should always reside in a transcendental realm of a Vraja and always engage in a Krishna Smaranam and remembrance of a Sri Krishna. So we have to constantly remember the Krishna. And further, like he's saying, we have to follow the footsteps of our associates, and following the footsteps means we have to follow their instruction, and one can acquire intense desire to serve the supreme personality of a Godhead. So like like Prabhupada says, simply by desiring going back to the Godhead, you can go back to the Godhead. So but we are lacking in the desires now, like and this desire will come when we are like constantly chanting the Krishna's name, and we are hearing the Hari Katha. When we hear the Hari Katha, when we follow the footsteps of our acharyas, then like we can acquire such intense desire to serve the supreme personality of a Godhead. Hare Krishna, Vinod Prabhu. Now we can read further. Hare Krishna. Harisita Mataji, would you like to read?
May I read, Mataji?
Yes, Snigdha Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
all glories to Srila Prabhupada. In the transcendental realm of Braja, Brajadhama, one should serve the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, with a feeling similar to that of his associates, and one should place himself under the direct guidance of a particular associate of Krishna and should follow in his footsteps. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana, the spiritual practices executed while in the stage of bondage, and in the stage of sadhya, that is God realization, when one is a siddha purusha or a spiritually perfect soul. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura has commented as follows upon his verse: one who has not yet developed interest in Krishna consciousness should give up all material motives and train his mind by following the progressive regulative principles, namely chanting and remembering Krishna and his name, form, quality, pastimes, and so forth. In this way, after developing a taste for such things, one should try to live in Vrindavana and pass his time constantly remembering Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, and qualities under the direction and protection of an expert devotee. This is the sum and substance of all instruction regarding the cultivation of devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare, Hare Bol Mataji, Hare Krishna. So here Rupa Goswami further state that in a transcendental realm of a Vraja Dhama, one should serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, with a feeling similar to his associates, and one should be place himself under the guidance of a particular associates of a Krishna and should follow the footsteps. This method is applicable for both sadhana and the sadhya. Sadhana means like one who is practicing the spiritual life by following four regulative principles, and sadhya means like they already get liberated, and now they are practicing they are not following rules and regulation, but they are trying to love Krishna more. Okay, so they have purified, but they again they are trying. So yes, but this is not applicable for us now. We should think, okay, Krishna is my best friend, Krishna is my mother, father, everything. But firstly we have to purify ourselves by we have to go to that stage, that then we can think in that way, I can be also. And there is very thin line, when you think that I want to become a Yashoda Maya, then you are committing offense. But when you say in this way, oh, I also want to serve like a Yashoda Maya, then this is a good desire. Okay, so yes, what whatever we are doing, we have to take the shelter of a pure devotees, and we have to follow their footsteps. So we don't have to do any whimsically, we should always take the shelter of a devotees. And Krishna even says, even we read the Mukund Mala Stotra, there is one shloka, even in a Bhagavatam also, Krishna says when you become a devotee, then you are you cannot directly come to the Golok Vrindavana. I will become more happy when you become a devotee of my devotee. So Krishna is pleased when we serve his pure devotees. Okay, Krishna is Krishna is a little pleased when you are offering the pataram pushpam phalam toyam, and you are loving Krishna. But Krishna become more and more pleased when you are doing the services to his pure devotees. Okay, then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura committed upon this verse that one who has not yet developed the interest in the Krishna consciousness should give up all the material motives and train his mind by following the progressive regulative principles, namely the chanting, remembering Krishna, his name, form, qualities, pastime, and so forth. So yes, we currently we don't have that much interest, because if we have the interest, then why we have hesitated, or why we have doing our sadhana properly now, when we are not that much interested now, because if you are interested means somehow you are doing these activities with the quality. Okay, and so we should give up all the material motives, whatever pious activities we have done, and by Krishna's desire, whatever material things Krishna is going to provide, you will get. So then why we should have why we should hesitate? And even the bhakti Vinod Thakur says, 8 hours you have to work, and whatever money will come now, it is destined to you. And if you work more than that, And like whatever money is like coming extra na, like laws of nature will take it away in a form of hospital bills and like unnecessary like losses. Okay, so like you have to work for 8 hours and like even like 8, 10, or 12 hours, but like remember remaining time you should able to give the 4, 5 hours for in Krishna's service for your sadhana. Okay, and like okay, we have to we have to give up all the material motives. Even there is a shloka in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu na Anyabhilashata Shunyam Jnana Karma Anavritam Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktir Uchate. So like when you have to do the pure devotional service, it should be free from the mental speculation and fruitive activities. Okay. So yes, we have to give the material motives, and then we have to train our mind in such a way that like every moment we are able to remember Krishna by his holy name, by his leela form and his qualities. Okay, and like when we develop the taste in such things, then one should try to live in a Vrindavana. And like okay, like you can like try to go in a go in a Vrindavan yatras and like yatras in a Kartik and other months. Okay, and like we have to pass their time like constantly remembering Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, and qualities under the direction and protection of our expert devotees. This is the sum and substance of all instruction regarding to the cultivation of a devotional service. So cultivation means like you cultivate the crops. You don't cultivate the weeds. Weeds automatically come, na? And like we have to remove these weeds. We also seen this in a purport of a Bhagavad Gita shloka one that like this this son of a like a Dhritarashtra, they are like a wits, and we have to remove this from the paddy field. So similarly, like these bad habits, like they are like a weeds, they grow automatically. So we have to plug them and like we have to throw them outside the field of our devotional practice. So yes, like we have to go, try to live in a Vrindavana, but we have to make sure that we are going with the devotees, because like when we stay with the devotees, then devotees protect us, we like from the committing offenses. And like we have to pass our time not in a shopping or not in like simply eating the like a tasty kachoris, lassi, etc., etc., but we have to pass our like a time by constantly remembering Krishna's name, fame. So like this is also applicable in our day to day life, na? Like when we have the time, like you don't have to like like when we call the material friends, or when we are like texting, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just doing the time pass. Like you are not passing the time. Time is a passing you. Like you are losing the opportunity to going back to the Godhead. So yeah, how the devotees pass their time, like they don't watch the mundane movies or read the mundane books. They like constantly remember Krishna, and like whenever you have time, you have to keep one copy of a book with you, like small book, like you can also keep the small books of Srila Prabhupada. They are so nectarian. Like those who are like attending the sessions now, they can you can put the feedback from you, like you can also give the feedback in our group, so that like more devotees will join na? So yes, like this, they are so nectarian. So like even if you are working, you have to keep the small book copy in front of your table or your desk, and whatever 5 minute time, 1 minute time, whatever you are giving, at least try to read the one line, at least try to read the one paragraph. In this way, like you can always like you are always glorifying Krishna, because like we can see the purport of Srila Prabhupada book everywhere. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Everywhere is Krishna. Okay, so and like yes, when you are going to Vrindavana, we should go with the devotees, okay? And like whatever activities we are doing, we have to stay under them, okay? So Hare Krishna, who want to read? Like we only have the two paragraphs, and like we will try to cover
Mataji,
this
I'll read.
purport today. Yes, Harshita Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. In the neophyte stage, one should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. This is called Shravana Dasa, the stage of hearing. By constantly hearing the transcendental holy name of Krishna and hearing of his transcendental form, qualities, and pastimes, one can attain to the stage of acceptance called Varna Dasa. When one attains this stage, he becomes attached to the hearing of Krishna Katha. When one is able to chant in ecstasy, he attains the stage of Smaran Avastha, the stage of remembering. Recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance, and trance are the five items of progressive Krishna Smarana. At first, remembrance of Krishna may be interrupted at intervals, but later remembrance proceeds uninterrupted. When remembrance is uninterrupted, it becomes concentrated and is called meditation. When meditation expands and becomes constant, it is called anusmriti. By uninterrupted and unceasing anusmriti, one enters the stage of samadhi or spiritual trance. After smarana, After Smarana Dasa or Samadhi has fully developed, the soul comes to understand his original constitutional position. At that time, he can perfectly and clearly understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. That is called Sampatti Dasa, the perfection of life. Chaitanya Charitamrita advises those who are neophytes to give up all kinds of motivated desires and simply engage in the regulative devotional service of the Lord, because Lord, according to the directions of Scripture. In this way, a neophyte can gradually develop attachment for Krishna's name, fame, form, qualities, and so forth. When one has developed such attachment, he can spontaneously serve the lotus feet of Krishna even without following the regulative principles. This stage is called Raga Bhakti or devotional service in spontaneous love. At that stage, the devotee can follow in the footsteps of one of the eternal associates of Krishna in Vrindavana. This is called Ragunaga Bhakti. Ragunaga Bhakti or spontaneous devotional service can be executed in the Shantrasa when one aspires to be like Krishna's cows or the stick or flute in the hand of Krishna or the flowers around Krishna's neck. In the Dasya Rasa, one follows in the footsteps of servants like Chitraka, Patraka or Raktaka. In the friendly Sakhya one can become a friend like Baladeva, Sridama, and Sudama. In the Vatsalya Rasa, characterized by parental affection, one can become like Nanda, Maharaja, and Yashoda. And in the Madhurya Rasa, characterized by conjugal love, one can become like Srimati Radharani or her lady friends, such as Lalita and her serving maids, Manjaris, like Rupa and Ravi. This is the essence of all instructions in the matter of devotional service. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Mataji. So we can see how beautiful Prabhupada has written here. So yes, like in neophyte stage, like we have to always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. When we hear the Krishna Katha, then our heart get purified. This stage is called as a Shravana Dasa, means like a stage of hearing. And by constantly hearing the transcendental holy name of a Krishna and hearing from the transcendental form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna, then we come to the stage of acceptance, that is Varana Dasa. And like means like yes, okay, yeah, devotees are saying you must chant, you should read, like you should come to the temple, then we accept this. Like in starting stage we simply hear, then we start accepting whatever the devotees are saying. Then one attains this stage, he becomes attached to the hearing Krishna Katha and able to chant in ecstasy. He attains the stage of a Sparana Avastha. So yes, when you come to the stage of acceptance, then you will feel the ecstasy in chanting, and like you get the attached to the hearing the Krishna Katha. Then what is the next? That is a smarana avastha. What is a smarana avastha? That the stage of remembering, recollection, absorption, meditation, and constant remembrance and this trance. So like okay, whatever harikatha you are hearing, then like you have to recollect all the points. You should absorb in that mood. Okay, like you should remember, okay, I hear this in Bhagavatam class. Okay, I hear that in a Bhagavatam class. And then you are constantly remembering whatever you are reading in Srila Prabhupada books, whatever Krishna Katha you are hearing. Then like yes, these five items, that remembering, recollection, absorption, meditation, we should meditate. Okay, meditate on that, like what we have read and hear. Then like we should constant remember, there should be constant remembers, and then that is trance. Okay, these are the five items of a progressive Krishna Smarana. In this way, we can remember Krishna. So Prabhupada also given everything to us. Na? Like he's trying to explain everything things to us. Now it's on us, like how much we are following that. So in starting, Prabhupada is saying it can be interrupted at intervals. But later the remembers proceed uninterrupted. So in starting there will be some interruption, na? But like with the time there will be no interruption. So like when it becomes concentrated, it become a meditation. Then like when it become the constant meditation, then it become anusmriti. And like uninterrupted sneezing and anusmriti goes to the lead us to the samadhi or a spiritual trance. Okay, then after the smarana dasa, samadhi is fully developed, and the soul comes to the understand his original constitution, position, and the at that time he become perfectly and clearly understand that his eternal relationship with the Krishna. So currently we are saying that we are the servant of a Krishna. Then but like in what relationship we are attached to the Krishna, that we come to the know when we attain the stage of samadhi. Like I remember one analogy. Like one boy go for the interview. He cleared the interview and then he asked the interviewers like how much salary I will get. So and then interview say like you will get the 15,000 per month. Then he said, oh, when I will get the promotion? Then they say like after 1 year you will get the promotion. And then he asked what will be my salary? Then they said like you will get the 30,000. And like then he asked, then when I will get the next promotion? Then they said like after 3 years, then you will get the promotion. Then he said like what will be my salary? Then they said like you will get some around 80,000 or some. Then he asked, oh, when I will get the next promotion? And they said like after 5 years you will get the next promotion. And then he asked what will be your salary? And what will be my salary? Then they said like around 1 lakh. So like if he kept asking in this way, then interviewer stop him and say at least you have to try first. So like when you are going to this samadhi and anasmriti, then like we have to at least try to follow the four regulative principles very strictly and chant more and very attentively. And like we should read the Srila Prabhupada books and then we should discuss all this point. So like we are only reading this, but like at least we should try we should practice these things. We should practice our sadhana very nicely. So further, uh, yes, then the perfectly and clearly we can understand our relationship with the Krishna. This is the no this stage is called as a Sampatti Dasa. And Chaitanya Charitamrita advise for the neophytes that like they should give up all the materially motivate desires, and like they have to simply engage in a regulative devotional service. Means like everyone should the sadhana bhakti. We follow the four regulative principles and regulative principles of a bhakti. Okay. And like even our mind says like you don't have to do the sadhana, you don't have to chat. Then also we struggle with the mind, and we strictly follow the rules and regulation. Then we come to the stage of attachment and a spontaneous then spontaneous we want to serve the lotus feet of Krishna. And without then like okay, like when we become purified, then like even even if we don't follow the regulative principles, then we have the attachment for Krishna, and we spontaneously want to serve the Krishna. This stage is known as a raga bhakti. This stage raga bhakti come after a sadhana bhakti. Okay. So you don't have to imitate this. Okay, you have to become perfect in a sadhana bhakti, and then you come to the raga bhakti. Then like raga bhakti means devotional service in a spontaneous love. And at that stage devotee can follow the footsteps of eternal associates of a Krishna of a Krishna in a Vrindavana. Then like you can follow the footsteps of a Yashoda Maya, Nanda Maharaj, or like his friends. And then it is called as a raga nuga bhakti. Okay. The spontaneous devotional service can be executed in a shantarasa. So like we have seen now, there are different rasas. Shantarasa means a neutral rasa. When one becomes to become a Krishna's cow stick, or like a flowers around his neck. Okay, this is the Shantarasa. And like when you further advance, then you go to the Dasya Rasa means one become the servants Chitraka, Patraka, and Rataka. Okay, so like we can see like how beautiful names of the even names of his servants. Then Sakhya Rasa, like one can become the friend of a Krishna. Okay, the Baldev, Sri Dama, Sudama. And then further is a Vatsalya Rasa. Like you can Vatsalya Rasa means parental affection. You can become like Ananda Maharaj. You cannot become Ananda Maharaj, but you can become like Ananda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya. And then the next is a Madhurya Rasa means like you are serving Krishna in a mood of Radharani, or you are you are serving like a Srimati Radharani or her friends like a Lalita and the Manjaris. Okay, Rupa and Rati. And Rupa Goswami is a Rupa Manjari. Na? So in our Gaudeva Vaishnava parampara, like every the parampara is they are all are from the Goloka. We are having the Goloka teams. Okay, so we can meditate on this. That first is that we have to practice our sadhana very nicely. Okay, so whatever points you like, you can write in your diary, and please try to follow them. So today we will stop here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Anant Koti Vaishnav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Staying in a Vrindavana means like we should constantly remember Krishna through his names, and we can also read the Srila Prabhupada books. Like then we will get that consciousness after becoming purified. Okay, so at least we should try to remember Krishna. So Hare Krishna. Prabhupada also says, na, like always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So Hare Krishna, everyone. Happy Krishna Conscious Day.
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Mataji, Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you for all for joining.
Hare Krishna.